Good morning or good night, Gacha Kingdom. Yes, that's right, a yixuan video. A full dedicated video for this man. Editor Banknote Currency here. Yeah, I know, I'm here very early on in this video. I butcher Shiyuan's name like for 10 minutes straight, calling shiyuan, which is probably like an entirely different anime character in itself. But yeah, and you're like, oh, he's calling him wrong! I'm really sorry. But it wasn't until like, I was like, I think I'm saying his name wrong. And then I went back into the zenless zzzero story and I was like, oh.
Shiyuan will drive to 6th Street and pick up your brother. I'll do a reading of the trip before Shiyuan's departure.
Rest assured, Junior Shiyuan, I'll make sure to give him a few extra punches on your behalf.
You expecting an ATLUS video or an ATLUS Yuzuha video? ATLUS and Yuzuha can wait because ATLUS is going to be for a whole month. But first, shout out to Daily Yixuan on Twitter. You are a real one. Shout out to everybody that has joined the Fujo and Danshi club. You guys are also real ones. I love all of you. Mwah. What made me want to make this video was ATLUS's social link confidant persona as gameplay. There's a chance that ATLUS will be at the top of Fulham Heights using one of those binoculars looking into the city and shit. And one of the text bubbles you can choose is to pull her tail. They say Rabbit Thyron's tails look short, but they're actually quite long. Just how long could they be? I saw this, I was connecting the dots about how some people on Twitter were talking about how Yixuan was actually a Rabbit Thyron and not a Fox Tyrant, and I was like, oh my god, the cogs in my brain are turning. I need a microphone ASAP. I believe a good amount of people believe Shiyuan is a Fox Tyrant. But about a month ago, there was a theory floating around Zenless on Twitter that Shuen might actually be a Rabbit Tyrant instead of a Fox Tyrant. On his robes, there seems to be a rabbit pattern of 3 rabbits running in a circle, and their ears form like a Triforce piece. And the other 2 Tyrants, Yinhu and Labubu, they both have similarities in their clothes, where Fufu has a tiger on her shorts, and Panyin, who, while not on his clothes, he does have a gourd that does have a panda logo on it, unless this symbol like means something about pandas or something, or like maybe I'm just reading way too deep into it. And I don't fully buy this theory either, because of his tail and because of his ears. For the most part, the Zenless Zone team has done a really well job about researching animals and then translating it into Thyron form. Except for this one wolf NPC that you see during the swimming event, he's like super chopped. And in real life, a lot of people are surprised that rabbits' tails are about 3 to 4 inches long on average, because when rabbits are jumping around and they're sitting, their tails are usually pointed upwards, making it seem that they're very short. That's why ATLUS's tail is usually pointed upwards. Wow, it really makes you think, huh? The thing is that Shiyuan's tail is as big as Lycaon's, and that follows the in real life comparison between wolves and foxes' tails, where I believe wolves are supposed to be a bit bigger than foxes' tails, but on average they're supposed to be about a foot long each, which is like 3 times bigger than rabbit tails. And I'm not a Thyron, so take this with a grain of salt, but I don't think it's physically possible to hold your ears back and get like this pointed ear look, no matter how much like shampoo he must be using to have his hair be this good looking. Typically rabbits have rounded ears. I mean, we can see it with Asha and with Alice. Hell, even Asha has her ears down, but for her it looks like she just has very long hair, but it's actually just the fact that her ears are just really big, and if they were upwards, she wouldn't be able to fit in many doors. But for Shiyuan here, his ears, if they were rabbit ears, they're folded onto the side of his hair, which if they were folded to the side of his hair, he wouldn't have these pointed ears on the top of his head. And if he did have some kind of like ear overlap so that he could hear people, they wouldn't be pointy, they would be curved instead. So let's assume that this theory is busted and Shiyuan is actually a Fox Thyron. Then why is he wearing a robe that has a lot of rabbit motifs on it, and they're symbolizing this Triforce of courage or wisdom, maybe power, who knows? Okay, I'm gonna keep it very real with y'all. I've spent maybe like an hour trying to voice my opinions, and like nothing's coming together like at all. So I'm just going to present to you the theory that I have in my mind about these damn rabbit robes because I'm not Phoenix Wright. Look at my attorney, man. I'm going to jail. I'm sure a lot of y'all remember the season 2 preview trailer because a lot of you guys keep pointing back to, oh my god, this guy looks like Damien. Let's talk about the end of this trailer where this woman shows up and you're like, oh my god, gender bend shiyuan? Oh my god, real? Holy shit. In the English and Japanese trailer, we don't get a name for these people. But in the Chinese trailer, we do. And her name is yixuan. Yes, the same Yi as shiyuan. And that proposes a lot of other questions. Is shunguang here also a rabbit tyrant, just like shiyuan? Or is she also a rabbit tyrant? Does she have foxes or rabbits on her clothes? Where is this? Who is she talking to? Is she alive? Is she dead? This shiyuan's mom or older sister or younger sister? Who the fuck knows? The first time I mentioned about shiyuan was about how I thought shiyuan was actually going to be evil, and about how yixuan was going to come at us at midnight and she's gonna be like, dude, shiyuan's gonna like backstab us in about like 3 hours from now, like at 8 a.m. So like we gotta be prepared because shiyuan's about to like beat us in the ass, and then 8 a.m. comes around and shiyuan's gonna be like, yeah, I was evil all along, aha. But the more I'm talking into my mic, the more I'm like, wait, what if shiyuan is actually a good guy and this entire thing is just a red herring? Oh my god, a hair like the rabbits on his clothes? This shit's like the fucking Yu-Gi-Oh card meme where it's like the sunny side and like the evil dark side. Here's my dilemma, right? So if shiyuan was a good guy, like a committed good guy, just like he just happens to be the fox race, like Zhao Honkai Star Rail. Okay, yeah, sure. We don't know it yet, but I'm like, it's like 99% sure, confirmed, that shiyuan's going to be a playable character in the future. And if shiyuan does get like main character like development, which if we do get to see shunguang eventually in the story, he is definitely going to be S-rank character. In the dev talk, one of the developers that worked on Yuzaha says that he's working on a unit that fights with martial arts, and he's kind, but when he's angry, he can start kicking ass. And we already know that shiyuan has these armbands, or I guess handbands, that has the electric symbols on them. If you don't know, use your eyes. Here's proof on his model. When yixuan was like, here, take these talismans, we're gonna save the town. And Mr. Krabs, like, there it is, it's right there. He also said that he was going to be a main DPS. So that leads me to believe that he's going to be an electric rupture unit. Unless, like, you know, hindsight zero, we're all stupid and they make another electric attacker S rank, which, I mean, I bring this up and it's making this hard because we haven't had a unit that's been playable like die, like Honkai Star Rail, where Gallagher and Misha don't exist, but they're still playable. This is why pronouns are so important. Because if developer man here specified that she was good at martial arts, that would like imply that shiyuan would eventually backstab us, and then we would meet shunguang here, and then we would have shunguang help us defeat shiyuan here, and shiyuan would die. And again, like, oh, but please don't backstab us, you're too hot, please. I do believe these two have some kind of relationship, whether it being siblings or shunguang is the mother to shiyuan here, assuming shunguang's not dead. I would need to meet shunguang, because I think that would entail a lot. We only see shunguang's backside here, and her hair, and the fact that she has a back window, and shiyuan doesn't. If shunguang does have rabbit motifs on her outfit, then maybe it's like some like family lore between like the Yi family about how they have like rabbits and foxes and stuff like that. And I just don't know because obviously like we're not that far into the story yet. But if shunguang does have fox motifs and shiyuan doesn't have fox motifs, one of y'all gotta be evil. Unless I'm skipping ahead way too fucking fast and maybe there's some like Yi family lore here between shunguang and shiyuan, and maybe the Yi family used to be evil, like the Yiga clan, oh my god, where they used to work for the Exaltus, and then both shunguang and shiyuan like broke away, and they chose the rabbit path of peace and hope instead of the ever destruction fox route of intelligence, cunning, but also like may also be evil, like Red from Animal Crossing selling you fake Mona Lisas. Not gonna lie to you, that would be really fucking funny if that was their backstory. It just took the anime route to, oh, we used to be evil, but then like the both of us broke away, and both of us are not evil, but like our brethren were evil, and then they turned into ethereals, and then we had to kill them. Not funny in a personal way, but like, come on, man. I feel like there's so many other routes you could have had these two, and you just chose that. Look, like, he's got way too much like hidden potential lore between him and Shunguang here. There's no way this man's an A rank. All right, I'm just saying, because he's got so much lore that he got me questioning that if he's actually evil or not. I can only imagine the comments now. This man onto nothing. Who let him cook? The kitchen's on fire. We just found Bernice's alt account with a voice changer. To make up the fact that this 10-minute video might actually just be a nothing burger. Do you guys like it when two people have tails and they're bed rocking and they like each other, their tails intertwine like a braid? I'm not saying those two, well, canonically would ever meet, maybe, but